July 2023 video horoscopes for the 12 signs with me, Lada, from AstroladaOfficial. I'm so excited. July, we have some of the most karmic configuration in the sky. Pluto, which is considered the planet that governs the evolution of the soul and the evolutionary path, and the most karmic and fatal and fated events will square the karmic nodes, which are considered the north node is the true north of the soul, the new karma soul has to create. The south node is the past karma soul has to create. So some very pivotal fated karmic events will happen, like the universe is no longer waiting for you to make up your mind. It's giving you consequences of your actions and is realigning you to the path that is most appropriate for your soul, whether you're ready or no. So some events that I'll say for each sign what these events will be will trigger a specific big consciousness shift and realigning of your karmic direction and the karmic path in life for your soul during the next month, July and into August. And we'll speak what events this can be for each one of you. But something pivotal, very important, is happening, guys. And Venus is turning retrograde, but helping this process with a trine. So I'm very excited for this month. And before I start, Nikola Stojanovic, my past teacher, the late Nikola Stojanovic, his books are still not out. His daughter is trying to publish them. He's the most genius astrologist who ever lived. But we're releasing all his courses, 9 courses, for a discounted price, or you can choose just 3 of his courses in a package and get them. This is part of my Lada's Top Picks that continues the whole till October 2023, where I recommend you the best astrology courses and the themes, and Nikola Stojanovic is for everything. I mean, if you want to do astrology like a magician, like a psychic almost, check out those courses. I cannot recommend them enough. And of course I do Q&A live once per month for each group till October. If you have questions for every new package of course I recommend. So thank you. Let's begin July. Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, July 2023. Pisces, the North and South node, the 2 karmic points of the Moon, are moving into your 2nd and 8th houses. Wherever the North node goes, we get filled up with more passion, desire, laser-like focus and vision for a little bit. Even if it's not something we pay attention to so much in our life, for a little bit we might get a little bit obsessed, and that's good because we need to explore different areas of our lives so they're not all neglected. And for a little bit, it will be for a year and a half, it will be in your 2nd house, Pisces, especially if it's your ascendant in Pisces, to a lesser degree Sun or Moon as well. But there can be a lot of focus on material and financial independence and stability. And the North node there asks you to explore, to experiment, to even take risks when it comes to that. Of course, don't be too rushed, because sometimes North node can get entangled in get-rich-quick schemes, because North node is impatient influence. So is Aries. North node is the mythology of it is that it was a demon and it wanted to become a god, but it didn't want to pass through years of evolution, billions of years, and being good. So it tricked the gods and drank the juice of immortality and became a god. So Rahu gets what it wants, yes, because it has a strong desire, but not always in the most lawful ways, and sometimes through trickery. So just one warning. Yes, Rahu in the 2nd house can make you become more financially stable, richer, definitely can expand your resources. But you have to be aware that it can, not to do it in illegal ways, be careful, or not to get tricked into get-rich-quick schemes, into pyramids of any sort. That's the only danger of the North node in the 2nd house. Especially be cautious around that for the next couple of months, because Pluto will also square the North node, Rahu in your 2nd house, and Pluto can have a little bit of a manipulative influence as well. But otherwise, over the next year and a half, I believe that you will come up with new ideas and new initiatives, that Aries will help you, because the North node, your 2nd house of money is in Aries, will activate you into pursuing, into going after. Of course, just indeed, the North node can make you to double your income, triple it faster than normal. That happens. I've seen it many times. But somehow you have to rely on yourself rather than involving others so much, because the South Node is in the 8th house, which is other people's resources, other people's talents and finances. It doesn't mean like don't receive any help or whatever and be careful. It just means that somehow you might, for example, your soul's purpose and goal for the next year and a half might be to explore what it is to be self-reliant on your own resources, on your talents and skills only. So for example, how it might play out, you might lose some source of income that some source of income that comes to you from a partner, from government, or from another source outside, or some source of support. So you are asked to find out your own resourcefulness here, the Rahu in the 2nd house, to figure out how to do it through your own talents, through your own ideas, and relying on yourself. So often this is a great transit to become financially independent, even in a marriage or in a business partnership or for yourself, and to explore different sources of finances. And the North Node loves diversity, loves to try things that are new, that involve new technologies, that involve more than one streams of income as well. And of course, Aries is also a very innovative sign of entrepreneurship. So some of you, they can be a big boost in growth by starting some business that, can increase their wealth and their value. Others can take some certain investments or initiatives that can play out, that might feel even a little bit more risky. I cannot promise you what the final result will be. The North Node can destabilize a lot of things as well. But it's the energy that asks you to try something new, experiment, and that will be, even if the results are, usually North Node gives you something. Funny enough, I just received a message that don't forget to donate. There are something. And the 2nd house is possessions. With the North Node, if you want good positive results, there is a remedy: give to others more. And South Node is about letting go, sacrificing something. 8th house is other people. So that's very much the position of donate to someone. South Node in the 8th house, let go of something and give to another who is in more need. So that's a good way as well as a remedy if you're kind of feeling in a situation, especially initially, where there is uncertainty financially. So donate, give. That's a good reminder. I didn't think of that, but synchronicities always work great. And then your own finances can stabilize and strengthen as well. But also you might need to end up and release some reliance on some reliable source of income that comes to you from another area. But the South Node in the 8th house has liberating influence. South Node is emptying. It's the tail of the dragon. 8th house is our psychological traumas. 8th house is a moksha house of liberation. The South Node is a moksha energy. To moksha energy can liberate you from some traumatic feelings, can liberate you from emotional attachments that are toxic and painful, that you've been stuck in maybe for many years, psychologically, emotionally. And so this liberates you emotionally from attachments, while the North Node can create new karma for you, and karma can be good by getting you entangled with new worldly material responsibilities and duties, with some new the North Node in the 2nd house likes to take care and have space to dedicate passion and mental headspace and energy into material, practical, everyday things. It will make a trine to your career house, to your work house. So it's an advancement in those areas that the North Node can really give you, while releasing you from certain deep emotional entanglements that are keeping your all energy, kind of focus on dealing with some emotional issues, on betrayals or dramas, the psychological emotional dramas, so fighting with your own inner demons, with your internal battles and struggles. And the South Node wants to empty that, to give you freedom there from your, so you might feel in the spirit at certain point like a huge release of toxic emotional energy, and you might feel emotionally, energetically lighter. and that free space for you to focus on more practical, material, down to earth things that you can develop wonderfully, because the North Node develops things materially, moves them forward. All right, and that can be a boost to your self-worth as well, especially releasing a lot of emotional pent-up luggage with the South Node in the 8th house. And while this North Node in the 2nd house can allow you to see, to sometimes even enhance too much what you're worth, but I've seen people rise their prices, get more money, because they evaluate themselves higher and they receive higher payment, or they rise their own prices and so on. And with the South Node in the 8th house, just be a bit more careful with investments. If you're investing, say, in mutual funds and hedge funds, if in stock market, or if you're investing in because there might be losses through partners, or your partner can start making less money, for example, or if you're investing, say, in pension funds, whatever, there can be some losses there as well. So if you try to invest in something, try to invest in more 2nd house things that's more tangible, you can put your hands on it, rather than mutual big funds and so on. Then those axis is squared the whole July by Pluto in your 11th house of gains and income, another financial area. So these are the most karmic planets: the South Node, the North Node, the past karma, the future karma that you're creating. And Pluto is the other most karmic planet that shows you the evolution of your soul. So when we have the 3 most karmic points in evolutionary astrology aligning in the most powerful position possible, actually they were aligned together in 2020 in February and April. The South Node was aligned with Pluto and opposite the North Node. Well, now we have kind of a starting to see the results of that collectively, but on a personal level, it's a pivotal, decisive moment for your fate, a pivotal, decisive moment for the evolution of your soul. And Pluto can be ruthless. Pluto doesn't care. This is your soul. It doesn't care what you personally desire. Pluto will align your soul to the vibration it's supposed to be, to the path it's supposed to be. And sometimes, because it's hard aspects, it can feel like, wow, that's ruthless, or it's a bit like fatalistic energy, or you might not feel ready for it. But the universe is not waiting for you anymore. And the universe is saying something like, now it has to happen. It's culminated to a point. It cannot, the rails need to shift. You need to shift to the right alignment, whether you want it or not. Ultimately, remember, it's for the highest good of your soul. But it can come to you as some crisis situation, or as some situation that it's been building up, and now it explodes like a volcano, and it feels fated, and it feels intense or fatal. Not for your life, it doesn't directly affect your sign, but what can be the trigger for this big realignment of your fate? Well, it can be the 2nd or the 8th house, one of the points of this configuration. So personal finances, personal security, or secrets. Other 8th house is secrets, psychological changes, other people's finances, other people's support, something that's happening under the surface, anything to do with inheritance, death, birth. So some important events can trigger this change of your destiny and the path of the evolution of your soul, connected to 2nd house is also family, stability, or 8th house, psychological transformations, big changes, life, death, circumstances, taxes, insurances, inheritances. But Pluto might be the pivotal planet triggering all this, and it's in the 11th house. Some big event can happen, or important event in your social environment, as a feedback from society in regards to your gains and income, or in regards to your long-term goals that basically realigns you into a different evolutionary path and goals for you. So even if there's some crisis there will be some realignment, some big change with even with friendships, social environment, who is in your life as well. The 11th house is very social, but that overall realigns your whole path. And Venus is helping this whole process. Venus with a trine from the 6th house to the North Node in your 2nd house the whole month of July and into August, and sextile into the South Node. So this psychological transformation and evolutionary jump that is happening, even if it's stressful, Venus is helping you. What is helping you? Well, Venus from the 6th house might be a good workout routine and grounding, healing habits that you introduce into your life, like better nutrition, better healthy lifestyle. It can be also someone who is supportive of a practical nature, a friend who is there for you practically to give you help if things are changing in your life, to help you there, with more practical rather than emotional, psychological advice. But still, that is great. It can be also your work. Actually, those evolutionary changes that are happening from the nodes, that can benefit your job and your work. Venus in the 6th house. Or your job can keep you sane through those changes. So it can be very good influence on your career development after that, or on your situation at employment and work, or it can be even something to do with your health. Venus in the 6th house, that whatever changes happen that you make, that it leads to this trine to Venus, to good healthy habits and healthier routines in your life. But Venus will go retrograde in your 6th house from the 22nd of July and will stay retrograde September, the beginning. So you're going to have some of you might have some old work project come to you that has to be finished, to be improved, to be fixed, to be edited, improved, made better. If you work in any Venus career, that can be a great time for your job. Beauty industry, art, music, consulting, contract, negotiation, entertainment, luxury industry. It can be a period where your work really benefits from this long stay of Venus in the 6th house, even the retrograde period. Retrograde period indicates 3 times more efforts, but when it turns direct in September, you have 3 times better results. So no matter what your career is, actually, Venus in the 6th house can improve your work, can make it a source of pleasure, pride, enjoyment as well. You can beautify and decide that, oh, I want my environment to be more attractive around me and I want to beautify it. And 6th house is about cleaning, rearrangement, or even your office space. Venus is about beauty. You can do something there, or make the environment more harmonious at your work. It's about some old projects coming to be re-examined, and in some extreme cases the 6th house is your work, profession, sometimes employment. Some of you might rethink, am I on the right track, and if you make a change in some way, that will be for the best, because Venus, whatever changes Venus does in a house it passes, even with a retrograde period, it feels like the right decision. It's done with good evaluation and retrospection and analysis. It doesn't feel rushed, it doesn't feel, but it's gonna be Venus, yes, while it's retrograde, will square Uranus. So there might be some shifts and changes definitely in your work environment during the whole retrograde period, with some innovations, unexpected. So when Venus starts going retrograde in the 6th house like usually likes to have everything planned, knows what's happening. Well, if you have things planned, usually a bit like Mercury retrograde period, you might be surprised. Some surprises might be thrown at you for a month and a half. For the 40 days Venus is retrograde in your daily routine, so you have to be more flexible there as well. And Venus there can really ask you to reevaluate your health habits when it's retrograde. It's like, is what I'm eating healthy for you? Maybe I should ask for a second opinion, for a diagnosis. 6th house rules doctors and diagnosis. Retrograde Venus says, let me try for another expert, another opinion, or maybe change my medicine. Or Venus retrograde there can ask you to examine your diet, your health routines. And because Venus, whatever Venus is, we really love that. You can really start enjoying, say, maybe adding a couple of smoothies per week, adding in some healthier habits. And a retrograde planet allows you to see how something feels from a different perspective, rather than to be stuck in doing things the same way. So gives you an alternative perspective. So hopefully Venus can give you an alternative perspective of how your health can be in your health routines, and you can start changing something there. So there you go, Pisces. Hope that was helpful. Thank you very much.